Welcome to Strange TV, where the ordinary ends and the extraordinary begins. Tonight, we delve into the chilling story of the Toybox Killer, a tale of horror that will leave you questioning the darkness that lurks in the human soul. It was a quiet night. The streets were empty, and the moon hung low in the sky. A young woman named Sarah was walking home after a long day at work. She had no idea that her life was about to change forever. Suddenly, a van pulled up beside her. The door slid open, and a man stepped out. He was smiling, but his eyes were cold. Before Sarah could scream, he grabbed her and dragged her into the van. The door slammed shut, and the van sped away into the night. When Sarah woke up, she was in a dark, soundproof room. The walls were covered in strange tools and machines. There was a table in the center and a chair with straps. She realized she was tied to the chair, unable to move. The door opened and the man walked in. He was holding a tape recorder. He pressed play and a voice began to speak. It was his voice, calm and cold. He explained what was going to happen to her. He called this place his toy box, and Sarah was his new toy. The first night was the worst. The man used his tools to hurt Sarah, both physically and mentally. He recorded everything, laughing as she begged for mercy. Sarah tried to stay strong, but the pain was unbearable. Sarah wasn't alone. The toy box was filled with evidence of other victims, photos, tapes, and personal belongings. The man had been doing this for years, and many of his victims were never found. Sarah realized she was just one of many. One day, Sarah noticed the man was getting careless. He forgot to lock the door properly. She began to plan her escape, waiting for the right moment. She knew it was her only chance to survive. Sarah waited until the man left the room, then struggled free from her restraints. Her body was weak, but her will to survive was strong. She crept to the door and pushed it open. The hallway was dark and silent. She ran as fast as she could, not looking back. Sarah survived, but she was never the same. The police found the toy box and arrested the man, but the horror she endured would haunt her forever. The man was known as the Toybox Killer, and Sarah was just one of his many victims. The Toybox Killer's story is a reminder of the evil that exists in the world. It's a warning to be careful, to trust your instincts, and to never take your safety for granted. Because sometimes, the monsters are real. The police began their investigation, uncovering the horrors of the toy box. They found tapes, tools, and evidence of the man's crimes. But many questions remained unanswered. Where were the other victims, and how had he gotten away with it for so long? The man was put on trial, but he showed no remorse. He smiled as the evidence was presented, as if he enjoyed the attention. Sarah testified, her voice shaking as she described the horrors she had endured. But the man just sat there, cold and emotionless. The verdict was guilty. The man was sentenced to life in prison, but for Sarah and the other victims, it was little comfort. The horrors they had endured would stay with them forever. Sarah tried to move on with her life, but the memories of the toy box haunted her. She would wake up in the middle of the night, hearing the man's voice in her head. She knew she would never be the same. The Toybox Killer's story is a reminder of the evil that exists in the world. It's a warning to be careful, to trust your instincts, and to never take your safety for granted. Because sometimes, the monsters are real. Thank you for watching Strange TV. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales of the strange and terrifying. Until next time, remember, the world is darker than you think.